Hey, y'all hear that sound in the background? You hear wind and you hear generators. Yep, that's right. No power again. Unbelievable. So, what are you doing a day like today when you have no power? You go to where there is power, like the brand new Northern Tool store that's in town. Yeah, we're going to go check that out, compare it to Harbor Freight, and work on the Jeep today. Sounds like a great episode, doesn't it? Okay, so we made it here to Northern Tools in Bossier. And I can tell you one thing I like about it already. It opens at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's pretty cool. So we're going to go in here, like I said, and look at some items that I typically buy at Harbor Freight. See how they compare. And I'll let you know. Okay, this is one comparison item, and they happen to be out of them. That's the closest to the caster I used on that last project for that platform. I don't remember what we paid at Harbor Freight, but they're $12.99 here. So we will go take a look at Harbor Freight next to make a comparison. But they have a bunch of different casters, including, which is kind of cool, never seen one of these before, some double wheel casters. Cool. Of course, this is a popular section right now. Ooh, I bet they'll be selling some of these. Here's another item that I'm going to comparatively shop, and that is an engine stand. I used to own one, gave it away years ago. Gonna need one again. They're asking $99 on sale, $159 normal. We'll see how that compares. One unique feature of a Northern Tool is they have an entire Milwaukee line. So it's a brand name, not their own store brand. And they have it all. Pretty cool. And our last item that we're going to compare, I love car dollies. You see that the Willys is on a set of them right now. It makes it so much easier to move stuff around in the shop. They're getting $89 a pair here. We'll make a comparison. All right, let's get on out of here and go check out Harbor Freight. All right, so that's Northern Tool, and it is nice. Of course, it's brand new. That helps a ton. But it seems to have a lot more equipment than a Harbor Freight, which is really cool. A lot more generator choices. They have Honda as a brand name. You can't get that at a Harbor Freight. As I mentioned, they have Milwaukee, and I mean they have everything Milwaukee. So if you're a Milwaukee guy, this is a great resource for you. On the items that we're gonna do some price comparisons, I think they're gonna be a little bit higher, but honestly, I don't remember. So we're gonna drive over to Harbor Freight, and I'm actually gonna look at the pricing of the 3 items that I chose out of this store, and I'll let you know how that turns out. But let's get one more look at that beauty right there. Northern Tool. Pretty cool. All right, we made it to Old Faithful. Harbor Freight, one of my favorites. Man, I think it's getting foggier. It was already kind of foggy this morning, but now it is thick. I'm going to do kind of a pan around for you there, just so you can kind of see. Look at that. We've had some crazy weather. Anywho, we're going to go in here and see how Harbor Freight compares to Northern Tool, specifically on pricing. I think they're gonna be a lot less, but my memory may be foggy. See what I did there? Anyway, let's go in there and check it out. Okay, so a general observation, a lot less selection, but look at the price comparison of a similar caster. $12.99 versus $5.99. Wheel dollies here, $64.99. Northern Tool, $89.99. Harbor Freight, regular price, $99.99. It just so happens that Northern Tool is also $99.99 right now, but normally $159.99. So, there you have it. As I thought, everything's a little bit higher at Northern Tool. But I gotta tell you also, their engine stand is black. I'm a sucker for red toolboxes and engine stands and hoist and such, so lower price, cool color. So there you have it, my verdict. I'm still a fan of the Harbor Freight. And I did actually buy something while I was in there. It won't surprise you when you find out what it was. I bought 4 more lanterns for when the power goes out. You gotta have them until you get that generator going. All right, so enough of this. We're gonna head back to the shop. Hopefully the power will be back on and we can dive right back into the old brake job on the Willys. I'm eager to get the old parts on. No, the old parts off and the new parts on. One more look at that fog. Wow, crazy weather. Well, the power did not come back quickly. So it's a few days later, but that's okay. We've been able to work on eBay. That's in the background there. And we're still waiting on parts anyway. They haven't arrived. So we're gonna go back into the shop right now and we're gonna continue disassembly so that when UPS does show up, we can be ready to roll. So let's get in there and get busy. Got a quick tip for you. If you're gonna spray a lot of brake clean, don't want it dripping on your floor, take a French fry baking pan. Oh, cookie sheet? I don't know. Just don't get the good stuff out of your wife's kitchen. And look what happens when you spray everything. It just drips right down onto it and not onto your shop floor. So there you go. Thought you might enjoy that. One of the great parts about taking the wheel cylinder totally off and replacing it is this is where the brake line actually attaches, and in disassembly of the chassis as a whole, we had broken that off in there, and I was concerned about that because we tried to actually get that fitting out and it would not come out. So anyway, that'll be solved with the new wheel cylinder. It's really cool just looking at some of the stampings and stuff. I am pretty certain these are original to the Jeep. So I'm gonna hang on to them. Might actually try to rebuild them just for fun. But we got new ones on the way when the parts arrive. So let's keep on disassembling the brakes. All right, so as you can see, I've got the wheel cylinder out and the brake shoes are loose, but I can't figure out how to get them off of there. And I think I've just about decided the whole backing plate has to come off of the axle. Weird. We're gonna give that a try. See if that might be the solution. Okay, before we get to cleaning on these parts, kind of some cool things to point out. Number one, I love how you can see the original olive drab paint on the inside of the backing plate. Of course, we've refinished the backside when we painted the whole differential, but that's the original olive drab. And then, like I said, I'm not sure if these are the original brakes, but they are Bendix made in the USA brake shoes. And just as an interesting side note, you can see those brass rivets on the backside. They actually make a kit where you can actually reline this actual brake shoe. I didn't go that route, but it can save you some money, and you can keep original parts if you want to on your project. So kind of a cool deal. I got one broken lock washer that I got to replace on that part, but other than that, it's all looking good. So like I said, we're going to do a lot of cleaning, get these parts prepped up so that when the new parts show up, we can put the new brake shoes on, new brake cylinders in, and make progress. So there you go, original olive drab paint. Make sure you use a full face shield. This bad boy slings little pieces everywhere. So anyway, it's looking good, but be safe. This is really cool. I was cleaning the backing plate nuts, bolts actually, that hold it on, and look at there. It actually has the Ford script on the bolt. I'm gonna turn the camera around and talk about that just a little bit. This differential that's in the front of this Willys, we identified early in the restoration, is a Ford GPW differential. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, it's been cobbled together from a bunch of different Jeeps over the years. That's possible, but we also found out that they actually mixed parts back in the day. It's a war effort. Keep in mind, this was a very, very early one, December 23rd, 1941. And it's very possible that Ford supplied the front differential just to make sure that the product actually got out for the war effort. All right, so the backing plate is all cleaned up. We're gonna shoot some olive drab paint on it, let it dry, and hopefully new parts will come in. We have parts. See that box behind me right there? It's full of goodies. It's full of wheel cylinders, brake shoes. Ooh, look at those. They even threw in a Jolly Rancher and a lemon head. You gotta love Kaiser Willys. So yep, there they are. Box is full. I'm ready to get after it. Let's put this thing together. All right, sometimes the fancy tools don't work as good as a regular screwdriver. That spring right there was probably the hardest part of the whole assembly, but we got it. So now we're gonna throw it on the chassis. Don't know if you saw me scrambling around, crawling on the ground, looking for one bolt. It's missing right there. Looked under the Camaro, all around the chassis, under the hubs, in the box. You know where it was? Right down here in the brake shoe. See if I can get it out of there. I can hear it. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can feel it, but I can't grab it. I'm gonna set the camera down. At least I know where it is. All right, Operation Bolt Extraction continues. It has fallen. Oh, there it is. It fell down behind the brake shoe. What are the odds of that? So, once we stick this last one in there and get her tight, that is a completed brake rebuild. We managed to finish one brake assembly. Oh, it's been a long week. Hey, I appreciate you staying tuned in for it. Next time we'll tackle brake lines, master cylinder, who knows what else. But I really appreciate you watching this episode that took several days to film. So thanks for hanging in there, and we'll see you next time on John's Garage.